And me.
And we learned in the last hours that since the time of his girlfriend's shooting death, she had barricaded herself in the bathroom, crying hysterically. He shot through the bathroom door to kill her, still claiming he thought she was an intruder. Is it true that he would have to reach over her to get his gun? Michael Christian, what, if anything, do we know about that?
My understanding, Nancy, is that he keeps the gun under the bed. We know it was a 9mm. Again, his story has always been he heard banging, he heard an open window. He believed it was an intruder. He shot believing it was an intruder. But the first witness who was on the stand today said that she heard screams, and they were a woman's screams, and they were blood-curdling screams.
This is very, very important, and I'm going to throw this to Robin Curnow, Anchor International correspondent, joining me. Robin, did the screams heard by the neighbor come before the bullets?
Well, it depends who you speak to, doesn't it? And it's a judge's decision on whether or not she was telling the truth. I was in court today, the neighbor said, and it wasn't a neighbor, I must just say. She was a number of houses away from Oscar Pistorius' house. She said she heard a woman scream, then a man scream, then 4 bullets, 4 shots go off. She said she heard them in the interval of bang, 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 so that there was a space between the first bullet and the second bullet, and then she heard more screams after that. Now, that was very compelling evidence. It was very important, according to the state. But once she was under cross-examination, it was clear that the defense actually took her down, ripped apart her statement. They said, listen, were you asleep? Were you awake? Why is it that you were in the same bedroom with your husband, and your husband made a separate statement saying that he heard 5, 6, perhaps 7 or 8 bullets shots being fired that night? Why did the husband and wife hear different sounds and the different amount of sounds? And why? There were a lot of questions. So I think at this point in time, it is very, very dangerous to start making assumptions.
I understand that I understand, Robin, that the defense is making an issue about how many bullets were fired, but the reality is it only takes 1 to kill. And my chief concern is, could Oscar Pistorius hear his girlfriend's voice on the other side of that door screaming before or during the shooting? I understand that you've actually gotten a chance to speak with Pistorius. What have you learned, Robin?
I think just to answer your first part of the question, that key question on did he know whether Reeva Steenkamp was behind that door, is the basis of all of this. It's the reason I'm standing in the rain outside of a courthouse in the middle of the night talking to you. Did he know it was her? He said he didn't. It was a terrible mistake. The state alleged that he did know. When she screamed, when he screamed, are all going to be so crucial to all of this. And it doesn't just boil down to what he says or what some neighbor says. You're going to hear the weather service. You're going to hear experts. You're going to hear all sorts of forensic analysis. As you well know, in a trial like this, this is not that simple. In terms of what he said to me, what I have seen since the shooting, Oscar Pistorius, I can confirm, is sad. He's heartbroken. He is most definitely longing for Reeva, and he is very, very aware of the consequences of his actions that day. And he has photographs of her, and he carries them around with him. They surround him in his home. So that is the Oscar Pistorius we're talking about. He's very aware of what he's done.
Well, I understand he may be longing for her, but according to our reports, he's been dating a teenager and going out with the teenage girl dressed in disguise. Here she is, his new girlfriend. I guess he's not longing for Reeva anymore.